cowards. A lot of hockey cowards out there. You guys aren't built for the cup, dude. You guys aren't built for the cup. Leroy, they're not built for the cup.
No.
The fans, they can't stomach it. They can't stomach it. You know, a little bit of razzle dazzle from McDavid. He's good. And then all of a sudden, everybody's rats off a ship, rats off the ice, rats off a ship right now.
Right.
I don't like it. I think we found something, Leroy. I think we found something at the end of that game yesterday. I think Kachuk has awoken from his slumber, and we close this puppy out on Friday.
I would say, and I throw this out periodically, being in sports as long as I have, the Panthers can beat Edmonton. We've seen that. But there's something in sports that a lot of people don't understand, including the people playing in the game, and that's desperation. Right? Desperation in anything in life. If you come across somebody that's desperate and is willing to do whatever it takes, you have to match that intensity, that speed. And the last couple of games, the Panthers have started off in their normal, slow first period self and got skated off the ice, and then they matched the intensity, but by then it's too late.
Yep.
And so I said this before, the last two games, you'll know what the game is going to look like in the first 10 minutes. Right?
Yeah, but it kind of switched. Like the game didn't stay the same.
Again, I said they start off these games like this. And then as the game moves on, then they start matching into, oh, this is what kind of game we're playing. Right?
I think the thing that's frustrating about it, though, is like intensity and all that. It just was sloppy. Like these sloppy.
Dude, if they give up one more shorty, I'm gonna blow up my TV.
I nearly
I
punched
said
my
remember I
screen.
said it. I've been saying it all playoffs.
I know
they're more breakaways than to
they're
be
almost
on
at
the
the record.
play.
They have one more. They tie the record.
I'm like, holy smokes!
It's incredible. I mean, it's incredible. This is I really like. Look, my depression yesterday at 3-0 was very bad because I felt like the Panthers were never going to score a goal again.
I wasn't worried until they scored really quick and then gave up a BS goal again. Right? So at some point you got to shut down the nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And they never could. Right? They really never could. And then in the third period, they matched the intensity. Look, for some reason, the Panthers looked like they were skating faster. They were moving with, and I'm like, where was this 2 periods ago?
When Matthew Tkachuk scored that goal and made it 3-1, it was like a different team arrived.
Right.
It was like he arrived. And even though, they came back and they scored on the power play, which let me just tell you something. I was watching on ESPN Plus yesterday, and it's been fine, nothing wrong. When buffering hits on a championship game, and I have to go back, click back in, and I see the Oilers celebrating up 4-1, that's enough to make somebody like want to break things. I'm like, are you kidding me? Now, I guess you could say I was saved from watching the pain, but it's like, you blip out, and then this monster moment happens. Cats come right back seconds later, and they get the goal off of Erod hits the goal off of that dude's hand, and you're like, right back in it. And I swear, dude, once they tied things up in that third period, I thought for sure they were going to win. I really did. Right. I really did. Once Kachuk set up Ekman Larson for the for making it 4-3, I'm like, they're winning this game because they were playing fantastic.
Right.
They're playing fantastic. I was like, I hadn't seen that team really probably since the second period of game 3. We hadn't seen that team. And I think it all coincided with Matthew Tkachuk finally arriving in the series. And that's why my confidence is still at a pretty good place going into Friday night, because I'm like, look, we could talk about Alexander Barkov. He's, bar none the Panthers' best player. I agree with that. Oh, he's had some untimely penalties.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. You can't be the best player on your team at everything and be sitting in the penalty box. What do you think's going to happen?
It's a killer. Him, Akposo, you too, dude. You need to enough.
And then if you ain't the guy, you can't be giving team advantages.
Yeah, it's killing me. Yeah, him, Kulikov. I know you're nervous. You've been a Panther forever. You want that guy. Enough. These mistakes are killing me. But there's something about Matthew Tkachuk when he's going right. It just brings another essence to the Cats. It does. It's just another attitude. And it really felt like he was just flying around, bringing the intensity, setting his teammates up. He's such a pain in the ass to play against, but I really feel like he's been nothing but an antagonist in this series. And so for him to actually produce something for the Panthers, they do the little line switch up, Paul Maurice trying to get Verhaeghe going. So you put Erod with him. I just felt like something clicked there. And a lot of it coincided with Chucky getting going. So I don't know. I'm not nervous. Leroy. No, I was depressed down 3-0. I was ready to hit the bottle, but then when Tkachuk scored, I felt okay.
Here's the thing. Is that if you've been paying attention to these playoffs, this is kind of, remember a couple of years ago, we say this is where this team lives. Down 3-1, down, 2-0 in the game. Edmonton's been doing this all playoffs. So you had to expect some kind of pushback, because they've been living up against it these whole playoffs. So I knew it was coming. But I just thought that this team is to a place where they've been through so much that they're not going to let a team come in and outwork them.
Yeah.
And skate faster than them and kind of dominate them that way, because they've always been that team.
They've been doing such dumb stuff and so unnatural to what they've been doing. It's hard not to feel like the idea of them getting the cup has affected them a little bit.
Once the game starts, though, you ain't thinking that, dude.
There's no way that, but dude, come on.
You
may say that.
Once you get hit in the mouth.
I get you, dude. And Paul Maurice says the same thing where he's like, momentum's not a thing. That's been complete bull bleep. Momentum has been a huge thing in this series for both teams.
Well, yeah, no. We're talking about two different things. Like, momentum during the course of a game occurs no matter what the conditions of the game are, regardless of what the prize is at the end of the game. What I'm saying is, once that game starts, you are now playing hockey. The stakes of that hockey game are irrelevant because you're just playing the game.
Look, you're a competitor. You've done it at the highest level, but I don't believe you. I believe squeaky cheeks affected them and affected them.
When you're getting hit and when you're getting...
Dude, the cheeks were squeaky. And I'll tell you what didn't help with it.
That's the easy answer.
No,
I'm telling you. That's the easy answer to say why they lost. They got a little tight. No, dude, once the game starts, you're playing hockey.
I didn't recognize those cats. Those aren't my cats. And then by the end, I was like, my cats are back.
So let me get this straight. When they started skating faster and playing better, they loosened up a little bit.
When Tkachuk scored, yeah, it loosened things up. It did, because he's just a jolt, dude. It is.
I know. I listen. I look at that as a player who's a leader on that team that said, I have to do something to change this.
Yeah, especially because
that's not squeaky. That's not squeaky cheeks.
But especially because he's been doing nothing.
Right. Again, that's what leaders do.
Squeaky cheeks were there, dude. I'm telling you.
Dude, you have to understand. When you get hit the first time, when that game starts, it's 20 minutes for 3 periods, right? You don't know what you're trying to play in that moment, in that period, right? You don't know what the ramifications are. Like, you think,
how can you not?
You think these professionals are out there going, well, if we score here, we can get it close. Or if we do, no, they're thinking this way.
But how
this is how they're thinking. that, hey, we're getting outplayed. We got to go out and play better.
I understand, but like when we just saw this weekend in the U.S. Open, like how do you not have that element of I'm this close to a lifelong dream? I'm this
Because
close, and you're saying like it can have
if that's
no
what you're
mental effect on
thinking,
you?
if that's what you're thinking, you don't deserve the cup.
Yeah, but they haven't played like they deserve the cup. Like that's kind of my point.
Uh,
Like they've looked
that-
unrecognizable. I'll give some credit to the Oilers. I mean, McDavid's tore him a new bleep hole. He's been amazing, but they've
You're
also
good
made
too.
they've also made some really like heinous mistakes
But
that we have
here,
not seen. That has not been a recognizable Florida
well,
Panthers
the
team.
shorties we've been seeing all playoffs, and
That's
I've
fair.
been saying stuff about it the whole damn playoffs, and then you just brushed it off, and I'm like, man, does it seem like the other team gets more breakaways on power plays for the Panthers?
You have noticed that. Well, that's why we call you a hockey guru.
No, it's just listen. It's just noticeable. It is really noticeable that the other team shouldn't be threatening to score if you're on the power play. And their power play has been horrendous.
It really makes you want to hurt things.
Right. Like
I need
you
a,
didn't like
I
I
need a
don't understand when Edmonton's on the power play, they go back around, and I used to always get mad at this. They passed around the outside. Guys are skating in the middle, looking for a little room. Then bam, shot. Right? Shot after shot after shot. When the Panthers do this, boom, 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 the guy's going the other way.
They should go to Paul Maurice, the refs. They should go to Paul Maurice and be like, "You want to decline?" Like
And
like
then,
in football.
4-4, I feel even worse.
See, I haven't. The 4-on-4 has been like the 4-on-4 has felt better than even the 5-on-4 has.
But it's so I'm not worried for this reason. These guys have been through this. They have been consistent with what they have been saying from day one. And this is when that pays off. This is where that pays off. Because unlike they're not thinking, oh no, we're blowing the cup. They're thinking, because that's what they've said all year, hey, we got to fix some stuff. This is what we need to do. And they take care of the matter at hand. So that's why I'm not worried about it. And when I was talking about how these guys have been consistent with their message all year, these are the moments that pays. These are the moments where things look bleak, where your message has been consistent and you can go out and just play a hockey game. And I just say, again, I'm going to say the same thing. It's Wednesday right now. Until Friday, I'm going to say the same thing because it's been evident throughout this whole playoffs. The first 10 minutes will give you an idea of the mindset of this hockey team because they have played almost the whole postseason like, let's feel our way around for the first 5-10 minutes of this hockey game and then turn it up. And then when we get to the second and third quarter, if we have a lead, third period, if we have the lead, then we can take care of business.
We had this debate yesterday about Jack Nicklaus doing the drum. I will say this. Adorable. He was adorable. I don't necessarily know if it got everybody fired up. That was kind of my whole point the whole time. But undoubtedly, it was adorable to see that old man hit a drum. He looked like a little toddler. But he didn't really give he didn't have the oomph into it, Leroy. It was almost like a pleasant little tap.
Waddle, baby, Waddle, call him the Olden Bear.
Look, I'll say this about the Panthers. Their heart was in the right place. But yeah. I don't know if I don't know if they'll be going back to the Golden Bear anytime soon.
No.
Did you get the Goosies as a man who loves
listen, let's be clear. I hope they don't have to bang that drum ever again.
Agreed. But did you get the Goosies still seeing him up there, or were you like he should be napping?
I didn't get the energy that needed to get me going into the game.
Moment.
Right. Like he was not very but what do you expect?
Well, that was my point.
But I think it's more the drum of the person than the matter in which they bang the drum.
What do you mean?
It's Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah, but like he didn't bang the drum. He tapped the drum, which is understandable. The old aren't very good at banging instruments.
The old aren't very good at banging. Period.
Well, I don't know.
Huh?
They say those nursing homes.
Huh?
Oh yeah,
They say it runs rampant over there.
yeah.
Oh man, Dan, did you get the goosies from watching the Golden Bear yesterday?
No, got the opposite of that. I wanted to go to sleep. I thought about if I'm 25 years or younger, I'm kind of looking around like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Everybody knows Jack Nicklaus. We've been through this.
Sure.
No,
Yes.
the old know who
They
Jack
said the
Nicklaus
guy that
is.
arrested Justin Timberlake the other day didn't even know who he was.
That was crazy. I read that. I
Well,
read
how'd
that
they know
story too.
Jack Nicklaus is
The guy, Justin Timberlake, allegedly was, they were trying to be like, yeah, do you know who I am? Do you know who this is? And apparently the officer was so young he didn't have any idea who Justin Timberlake was.
So young.
Yeah.
Wow. All
I mean,
right.
Justin Timberlake was the last hit that he had, probably when.
He just released an album, you jackass.
Dude, we could talk about. Okay, name a hit off of it.
I don't.
Exactly.
I mean, it just came out.
Okay, but Leroy, he hasn't been a smash hit star in a while. His most famous thing that he's done recently is Trolls. That's the facts.
Hey, I agree with Dolphin Kane.
Mm.
Shirtless kid needs to bang the drum.
Did you see Bill Zito yesterday after the game?
No.
Yeah.
This was on Sportsnet afterwards, the Canadian feed. So here he is in the red tie, Panthers GM.
They all have red ties.
The guy who's looks like the boss, Leroy. He's suited and booted. You'll see him in a rage after the empty netter. And this is when he has to wait one more game, picks up the phone and throws in a rage, throws the water bottle after Kachuk makes an unbelievable effort play with like 20 seconds left to go save an empty netter. Unfortunately, Connor McDavid was right there to get his 4th point, which has been done in back-to-back games by him, never been done in the Stanley Cup. That poor water bottle. Todd, the intern's going to have to clean that up.
No, he had the top on. Oh, they get tops there. If I go buy water, they take my top.
You're not taking Bill Zito's top, dude. That's not happening. No way.
Yeah, that's right. Timbo Slice said he was probably thinking about that damn flight to Edmonton.
Probably.
I know. That's what I said. Why they all dressed like the same, like Men in Black? They were all dressed in black and red ties.
Because Leroy, he's the boss, and there are probably a bunch of stool pigeons who have to like, Mr. Zito, whatever you say. Todd, give me that hockey report. And give me a fresh bottle of water. Whatever you say, Mr. Zito. He probably has to go pick up his dry cleaning. He goes, you better be wearing exactly what I'm wearing.
You think that?
Hmm?
No.
Listen.
But I will say this. If that's the owner's box or the Panthers box, that's the first box I've seen in any sport where everybody's dressed is suited. They're usually not suited like that.
Dress code, dude.
Well, maybe because they thought they were going to win the cup.
I think that's how they always dress.
But yeah, that's crazy, right? No other sport does that.
I don't know.
If you look, if
the last time I remember when we see Stephen Ross's box, he's just got the business shirt so he can waddle,
Right, but I'm just saying, like, it's not. That's the only sport, even basketball. When you see the guys in the suite, Mickey and all those guys.
I think Chris Brewer wears a jacket, and I think he classes it up for a game.
But okay, one guy. I'm saying you don't see a whole room full of suits.
I guess. I don't know. This is a take I have no take on.
Right. All right.
Here's Paul Maurice yesterday. Matthew Tkachuk got it going yesterday, and here's what he had to say on that.
Momentum's not an issue. We played a hell of a game. We give up a shorthanded goal. That's got to stop. That's 2. For the first time, we got the stick on some hands there for the first time and end up in the penalty box for it. So we're going to have to be real mindful of that because we know that's going to lead to a penalty. And then after that, the 5-on-5 game was pretty good. I think we had 4 chances, 4-1, 5-on-5 in the first period. So we like that. Had a few, really good looks at times, but it's not about chances. I didn't mind our game. I thought we were all right. I think we should be intensely interested in the next one and see how that's played.
Schmieden says, who was worse, Tito or Ken Dorsey? By far, Ken Dorsey. Ken Dorsey took
best
4
words. The best words he said. That intense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I know, you got to match it from the get-go. They're desperate. They have to win.
Yeah, but I think I definitely think that the Panthers found something, especially with Tkachuk getting going. Here was Matthew Tkachuk. He was asked if the Cats are feeling pressure, and this is what the Panthers started to say.
No. I mean, it's not an elimination. It's not an elimination game for us. Right now we're going up there. We have a 3-2 series lead. We've just got to take care of business like we did in Game 3.
Gutless Nick. He says, "Don't care what anyone says. Cats are cooked. We don't deserve anything. Hopefully, relocation is coming." All right, he's banned. JFIC, ban him from the chat. You know what? I'll do it. Banned. See you, Nick.
Wow.
Just banned him. No cowards in my chat. See you.
I just again. I just
You
think
can call, if Nick wants to call in and beg for mercy, and I'll unban him, he can do that. 305-567-0560.
Wait. Somebody who puts that message there, you think that call is going to go with begging for forgiveness?
He better. He's banned.
What's wrong with you?
Sorry.
Read the room. And he topped it off with relocation.
Yep. See ya. You're out. He's
here.
either an Edmonton. He's either an Edmonton troll or a coward, and I don't want either one here.
Again, I want people to understand that when people are playing with urgency and desperation, right? If you don't match that, you give them hope. And that's kind of what happened the last 2 games, right? The first game, 3-0, you're like, oh, we ain't going out like this on our home floor. I'll give you that. But when you come back here and they get off to that start where they're skating all over the place and you're not matching their intensity, then I get a little concerned, right? But Paul Maurice said it best. Intense. This has to be, you have to play the way you've been playing all year. You've been stifling, smothering. You've been just wearing teams out. And when you watch these last 2 games, get to the end of the game, they still got energy. You haven't beat them up enough. You haven't worn on them enough.
I see. That's the thing again, by the end of the game, the Cats were pretty dominant in this game. By the end of
but that's okay. So then it changed. So you're down 4-1, then you start playing desperate. What I'm saying is that if you don't match that from the beginning, you're gonna be playing catch up Friday.
But I thought PK made a good point. PK Subban after the game, he goes when these games get tighter, your stars have to play like stars, and the Panthers haven't had Matthew Tkachuk play like a star until last night,
right?
And that's a big factor that's changed for them.
Yeah,
now, I guess what you could say on the other side is the Oilers really haven't had Draisaitl do diddly squat. He's still maybe due to erupt. McDavid's playing all world right now. I don't know what could stop him.
That's the only guy on the ice that it almost seems like he's playing with children. The way he moves the puck and they swat at it and it does nothing to him. The way he stops and starts and moves, it's amazing.